Today we'll be reading one of my childhood favorites, Madeline by Ludwig Bemelmans. Think about how life is different from yours in other places around the world. Madeline's the main character, and she's a little girl that lives in France. She lives in a boarding school, which is different from the type of school where you go to, because boarding school is where parents send their children off to actually stay and they live there, similar to college, where they might go away and live on campus to learn the lifestyle, learn their classes, their content. You don't see too much of these anymore, but this story, that's the setting. That's where she is. Here we go. You can see there in France, and that is the class. In an old house in Paris that was covered in vines lived 12 little girls in 2 straight lines. In 2 straight lines they broke their bread and brushed their teeth and went to bed. Listen for rhyming words while I read this. Rhyming words have the same ending sound. They smiled at the good and frowned at the bad. And sometimes they were very sad. They left the house at 9:30 in 2 straight lines in rain or shine. The smallest one was Madeline. She was not afraid of mice. She loved winter, snow, and ice. To the tiger in the zoo, Madeline just said, "Poof, poof." And nobody knew so well how to frighten Miss Clavel. In the middle of the night, Miss Clavel turned on her light and said, "Something is not right." Little Madeline sat in bed, cried and cried, her eyes were red. And soon after Dr. Cone came, he rushed out to the phone. And he dialed Denton 106. "Nurse," he said, "it's an appendix." Everybody had to cry, not a single eye was dry. Madeline was in his arm, in a blanket safe and warm. In the car with a red light, they drove out into the night. Madeline woke up 2 hours later in a room with flowers. Madeline soon ate and drank. On her bed there was a crank, and a crack on the ceiling had the habit of sometimes looking like a rabbit. Outside were birds, trees, and sky, and so 10 days passed quickly by. One nice morning Miss Clavel said, "Isn't this a fine day to visit Madeline?" Visitors from 2 to 4 read a sign outside her door, tiptoeing with solemn face, with some flowers and a vase. In they walked and then said, "Ah," when they saw the toys and candy and the dollhouse from Papa. But the biggest surprise by far, on her stomach was a scar. "Goodbye," they said, "we'll come again." And the little girls left in the rain. They went home and broke their bread, brushed their teeth, and went to bed. In the middle of the night, Miss Clavel turned on the light and said something is not right, and afraid of disaster, Miss Clavel ran fast and faster. And she said, "Children, please do tell me what is troubling you." And all the little girls cried, "Boo-hoo! We want to have our appendix out too." "Good night, little girls. Thank the Lord you are well, and now go to sleep," said Miss Clavel. And she turned out the light and closed the door, and that's all there is. There isn't any more. So in this story, we had one little girl that was a little different than the rest, and she had to be brave when her appendix was taken out. An appendix is something that is common. Sometimes people don't need it, but we remove it and they are much better off without it. So in the story too, before we read, I asked you to think about how their lifestyle is different from yours. These little girls had to follow orders, follow directions. They lived together and they explored together with their teacher, Miss Clavel. A little different than us where our parents don't send us off to school and not see us for a while. So be thankful for the family and the life that you have, and I hope that you are doing well. Until next time.